What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Boston's Banter, where the sports are wicked and the banter is Pissah. I'm your host, Frank the Bank. With me, as always, is Keith K. Lava Lacava. What's going on, Brodor Sanders?
Not much, President Brover Cleveland.
Brover Cleveland, I love it. Yeah, I had to go with the Brodor Sanders today after
course,
all the
man.
Shador Sanders stuff going on. So.
Right. We got plenty to talk about with that.
Heck yeah. So episode 46, we got a lot to talk about, so let's just jump right into the Wicked Pissah news.
Let's get it popping, Frankie. And it's the first time in a while we don't got the Bruins update. They ain't doing nothing. They're in Cancun.
No. They just announced that the NHL lottery was going to be May 5th, though, so hopefully they get a really high pick. Hopefully
see what happens there. But let's break down the teams that are in the playoffs and what they did this past week, Frankie. Now the series are looking, so we'll start in the East. The Maple Leafs lead the Senators 3-1 after a few overtime wins and one overtime loss. A lot of overtime games in that series.
That's been a good series. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Panthers lead the Lightning 3-1 after Monday's 4-2 home win in Game 4. Capitals lead the Canadiens 3-1. Ovechkin may's trying to get that cup.
I feel like Washington's one of the only teams in the East that could even hang with the West. I feel like the West should win it this year. And I know Florida's playing good right now too, but
see how they do. And then lastly in the East, the Hurricanes lead the Devils 3-1, Frankie. So, there's a lot of all 3-1s right now.
I mean, the Lightning aren't playing great. They're playing really bad. Florida's been playing great.
Yep.
I'm happy for Marchand seeing him there. Right. Hopefully he can get a cup. I mean, Florida could win it. And
it'd be bittersweet, man. But again, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, Florida versus the Caps. I could see.
We'll go to the West, Frankie, and we got the Golden Knights and Wild. They're actually tied 2-2, back and forth series, man.
I'm surprised by that. Honestly.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And then the Jets and Blues are also tied 2-2. The team that had the best record in the NHL this past season.
President's Trophy team. Right. Biddington's playing great for the Blues. He's been playing out of his mind. So
very competitive. The West is looking very competitive right now. And then the Stars lead the Avalanche 3-2. Stars won 6-2 on Monday in Game 5 after getting embarrassed in Game 1. Man, they're coming back on them.
Yep.
And then lastly, the Kings and Oilers, they're also tied 2-2. So
that's
we got
been a crazy
series tied in the West.
I mean, Oilers were in the West Finals last year. They lost, obviously, but that series, I don't know if you watched the last game, but they were down 2-1 in the series. The Kings were up 2-1, and the Oilers were down 3-1 going into the third. They scored a goal, and then they pulled the goalie late. They scored with 28 seconds left to tie it, went to overtime, won it in overtime. But that series was 28 seconds away from being 3-1 Kings, which nobody would have thought the Kings would have even been in this series, honestly.
Yeah, it's been very crazy in the NHL playoffs. It's been very competitive, fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
But Frankie, let's get over to our team, the Celtics, man, and they're starting to look good. So we'll do the Celtics playoff update real quick. So the Celtics currently lead the Magic 3-1 in their series. And let's break down what they did this past week in their playoff games. So Game 2 was last Wednesday, and the C's won 109-100 to take a 2-0 series lead at the time. Jason Tatum actually did not play, missing his first career playoff game with a wrist injury. Jaylen Brown had 36 points in that one, and Kristaps Porzingis had 20 points, 10 rebounds. But not only that, Frankie, in the third quarter, Porzingis took an elbow from Goga Bitadze and got a nice gash on his forehead. Actually, I'm going to show the pic real quick.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Looked like something out of Gladiator. Like, are you not entertained?
He got clipped. He got clipped hard, too.
Yes, he did. Foul. Dude was meant to be a Celtic, man. He shot his free throws, got some stitches. He's good to go.
Yeah, there's blood everywhere. Oh, it was wild.
Yes, sir. Then, in Game 3, an unfortunate 95-93 road loss. Tatum returned for that game. He had 36 points, 9 rebounds, almost a double-double. Yeah. Nobody else on the team had over 19 points, so he was just shooting at lights out.
I saw that.
Then, lastly, a 107-98 road win in Game 4, Frankie. Tatum had 37 points, 14 rebounds, and Brown, he had a double-double as well with 21 points and 11 rebounds. So we're leading them 3-1, brother. But Frankie, that's not the only bit of Celtics news I got right now, and we're going to break it down real quick. We predicted this guy to win this award.
Yep.
Celtics got Peyton Pritchard wins 6th Man of the Year.
That was easy.
Oh, absolutely. He
beat
out
money.
I mean, the two guys he went up against, Pistons, Malik Beasley, and Cavs, Ty Jerome, they're both playing very well this year too, but obviously Pritchard breaking records. Oh, yeah, absolutely. He showed consistency all year, breaking the NBA record for threes off the bench like I was just talking about.
Yep.
His competitiveness is top-notch, and a few seasons ago, Frankie, he was almost traded. He almost like he didn't have a role on the team.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. He wanted to be traded at one point.
That's what I'm saying.
He asked for a trade because he wanted that bigger role, and he definitely got it, and he earned it. You know
well, it was when Ime Udoka was there, too, and then he carved out a significant role with Joe Mazzulla, so I'm glad we kept him around, man. Absolutely. Especially that award's named after John Havlicek, too. So, you know what I mean?
That's
It's only right it goes to a Celtic.
That's great.
And then the other award we were talking about the Cavs, Evan Mobley beating out Draymond Green and Dyson Daniels for Defensive Player of the Year. First Cavs player player to win the award, and also he gets a $45 million boost in his rookie extension because of this. Averaged 7 defensive rebounds per game, 1.6 blocks per game. We've talked about that. They love looking at the block numbers. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
He had 113 total blocks on the season and 61 total steals.
Hey,
man.
congrats. Good for you, man.
Defensive player of the year, absolutely. But Frankie, let's get into the rest of the NBA playoffs and see how these teams are looking and everything.
Crazy games.
Yes, sir. We'll start in the East. So the Pacers lead the Bucks 3-1, and very unfortunately for the Bucks, they just lost Damian Lillard for the rest of the playoffs.
Feel so bad for him,
Achilles just got back from the blood clots, and now he's going to be missing the rest of the playoffs.
As soon as he went down, I'm like, I look like an Achilles injury. Yeah, that was terrible. Grabbing the back of his leg too. Like
obviously, Bucks are our rivals, but you never really want to see that happen to the guy, especially in the competitive nature of the playoffs.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? The Cavs swept the Heat 4-0. They won Game 4, 138-83. The largest series-clinching victory in NBA history. 55 points, Frankie. They were up 39 at halftime.
They took everybody out too. It could have been. They could have won by 80, honestly.
And then the Knicks lead the Pistons 3-1.
I mean, 2 games were decided by one shot,
yes, sir.
one possession.
Yep.
So
they had to review something on the last one too.
Right, they should have. I mean, the guy got bumped, and then they said he was fine. I don't know. I thought he should be shooting foul shots.
I agree,
for sure.
Absolutely. Let's move over to the West, Frankie. So the Thunder swept the Grizzlies 4-0. I kind of saw that happen. And Ja Morant, especially Ja Morant missing Game 4 with a hip injury. They weren't winning. Nuggets and Clippers are tied 2-2. Clippers actually killed the Nuggets in Game 3 by 34 points to take a 2-1 series lead. But Frankie, did you see what Aaron Gordon did?
That was crazy.
Let's check that clip out real quick.
8 seconds to go in regulation. It's Jokic. Zubac is on him. And this is for the win.
Oh, it's close. They're going to call it.
The buzzer. Did Gordon beat the buzzer?
They're going to take a look at it. But the official, Sean Wright, signaled it was good. This happened so fast. Oh, I don't know. Is it still in his hands? I don't know. It's so close.
After review, the ball was deemed to get out of Gordon's hands right before the LED line. This is a successful basket, and the game is over.
The Nuggets have won. The series is tied at 2.
Dude, so do you see how close that was? They had a review and everything.
Reviewed that for a while.
I was saying,
so close. So
oh my
I
God.
saw that a bettor put up $50 or $100 for Aaron Gordon anytime in the series with no time left on the clock to have a game-winning shot.
Yep.
And he hit. It was for like 10 grand. It was a plus a ton because there had to be no time left.
Yep.
Had to be for the game winner.
Yes, sir.
And when he did that, the bettor hit that.
Dude,
I saw that. I thought that was crazy.
That was insane.
What a bet.
Then we got the Timberwolves leading the Lakers 3-1, man. It was a controversial ending to Game 4, but yeah, the Timberwolves are running away with that one.
I don't know if you saw, but the Lakers did not substitute once in the second half. They
Crazy.
played the entire second half, the starters.
They were tired.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're exhausted, I'm sure, at this point.
And then lastly, Frankie, the Warriors lead the Rockets 3-1. Jimmy Butler returned and had 27 points in Monday's Game 4, 109-106 win. All right, Frankie, let's move on from the NBA playoff to the Red Sox update, brother. So currently the Sox are 16-14 on the season, second in the AL East behind the Yankees.
I mean, it's like every other week where like they're either on a win streak, losing streak. I mean, it's like, who are we? Are we good or are we bad?
We don't even know
Are we good or bad?
identity yet.
Like, let's get it.
Yes, sir. Let's break it down what they did this past week, Frankie. So they won 8-3 versus the Mariners last Tuesday. Tristan Casas had a home run in that game. He's been looking good.
He's been hot ever since he got that walk-off hit. We talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Absolutely. Followed by an 8-5 loss versus the Mariners last Wednesday.
Yep.
Then a second straight loss to the Mariners, this time 4-3 last Thursday. Then a third straight loss, only this time to start the Guardians series, 5-4 on Saturday to start the doubleheader. But then later on in the day, they followed it up with a 7-3 win versus the Guardians. And then lastly, Frankie, a 13-3 road win versus the Guardians. Rafael Devers, he had a home run in that game.
Duran stole home in one of the games too. That was sick. I mean, the kid's so fast. I don't know if you saw, some bad news is that one of the fans at the Guardians game, talking
I saw that.
to Duran.
Yeah.
He actually said, "Go effing kill yourself."
Yeah.
And I don't know if you read about Duran, but Duran actually did attempt suicide at one point.
That's right.
And so the fan actually got ejected, and obviously the Guardians actually apologized to Duran, which I thought was nice.
Yeah.
You shouldn't say that regardless.
No.
That I thought they handled that right. In Cleveland. So
absolutely,
give them credit
Frankie,
for that.
Yeah. Yes, sir. But I did see that. But get that guy out of here.
Yeah, he's gone.
All right, Frankie, let's move over to the NFL
Let's
news.
do
But
it.
before we get into the draft recap, we're just going to bring up some signings that happened
we got
within the
some
league
new
this
signings
past
for
week.
sure.
So we're going to start with the Panthers, bro. They're bringing in a guy who wasn't even playing last year.
Yeah.
Wide receiver Hunter Renfrow has signed a one-year deal trying to make a comeback with his hometown team. Like I said, he didn't play last season, so we'll see how he does.
He had such a great, like, that second or third year. He had 100-something catches.
Pro
It was
Bowler.
like he tore it up, and then he just fell off hard
Yes,
again.
sir.
I don't know. Hopefully he comes back good.
Oh, and then the Browns side wide receiver Deontay Johnson to a one-year deal. The dude was on like 3 teams last year.
He had such upside potential. It's
I
like
know.
he's like. Now, I'm not saying he was as good as Antonio Brown, but the fall off has been like
But
Antonio
I'm not going
Brown.
to lie, man. When they actually put in Andy Dalton on the Panthers, dude, he was putting up numbers in fantasy for me, bro.
I'm
like
saying,
a 28
Deontay
point
was
game.
pretty good, man.
But we'll see what he does with the Browns. And then lastly, the Titans signed wide receiver Tyler Lockett to a one-year, $4 million deal that could be worth up to $6 million. Last season,
Yeah.
which was his 10th with the Seahawks, he only had 49 catches, 600 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
You know, see how he can do next season with the Titans and their new quarterback. But Frank, you hear that jingle again, bro?
I hear it.
Yeah, brother, the draft was this past
That was
week.
fun. That was
yes,
fun to
sir.
watch.
And let's bring up the top 10 picks, you know, the ones that we predicted
Yeah,
last week in the mock
let's do
draft.
it.
So if you look here, Frankie, obviously Cam Ward went number 1. Actually, you got the first 6
I
right.
passed 6 in a row at one point. I should have
sir.
went with you on pick 7, but I went off the rails
It's
and went
all-
should have
all good, brother. So yeah, Frankie, you got Cam Ward to the Titans. You know, Travis Hunter went second to the Jags, which we said Browns, but we didn't see the Jags trade.
Yeah, that was a smart trade by the Jags.
Oh,
I thought.
absolutely. Abdul Carter going to the Giants, and
We
he's
saw
added to a
that.
pass rush that already has Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, and Brian Burns, bro.
I'm saying.
Nasty.
I'm saying the defense is stacked.
Will Campbell at 4, which we're going to get into in Foxborough
course.
Focus in a little
Yep.
bit. And then you got Mason Graham to the Browns, Ashton Janty to the Raiders, Amon Membu, which I thought they were going to pick up a tackle, you know, going to the Jets at number 7.
that was a smart pick. I mean, they needed that.
And then 8 to 10, man, these were kind of like surprise picks.
They were.
Didn't see Tedder Rowe and McMillan going to the Panthers, I'll be honest with you. We thought they were going pass rush
Pass,
there.
yeah.
But they went receiver. Clearly, Bryce Young, he wants another weapon in that wide receiver room.
Yep.
The Saints went with offensive tackle Kelvin Banks, which was a good pick, man. I mean, I get it. They lost Ryan Ramczyk and everything, so I guess the
Yeah.
need was there. But at the same time, man, I thought they needed a receiver or a quarterback, obviously,
Yeah,
more.
absolutely.
And then number 10, I did say they were going to go for a tight end, the Bears, but they
I'm
didn't
surprised
go.
they-
They didn't
I
go
know.
with Tyler Warren, bro. They went with Colston Loveland.
I mean, I don't even know. Cole Kmet ain't a bad tight end, though. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is.
No,
I
I
thought
mean,
that was kind of a funny pick, too,
Very
honestly.
interesting. But Frankie, so we're just going to do a quick recap here. I want to bring
Yep.
up some notable picks of the guys that got drafted in the later rounds.
Absolutely.
So we're going to start with the Cardinals. They drafted Will Johnson in the second round, 47th overall. The dude was a projected top 20
Yeah,
pick at one point.
that was a steal right there.
Oh, absolutely. Seahawks got quarterback Jalen Milroe in the third round, 92nd overall.
Yep.
Giants got a steal in the fourth round, getting Arizona State running back Cam Scatterbo, 105th
Everyone
overall.
likes that guy. He's going to be
Boulder.
a beast. I like him.
Boulder. Steelers drafted Ohio State and this year's national championship quarterback Will Howard in the
yeah.
6th round,
Late,
185th overall. Like the 14th player drafted from Ohio State this year, tying a school record.
Yeah.
And then the Dolphins got Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers in the 7th round. And Frankie, I just want to bring up something funny here. So the college football game that came back, they had here's the cover right here. So in the middle, you got Donovan Edwards, who was a running back from Michigan. He just went undrafted.
Undrafted, I know.
Signed with the Jets. And if you look on the sides of him, you got Travis Hunter to the right, and you got Quinn Ewers to the left. So one guy's undrafted on the cover, the other's in the 7th, and Travis Hunter's off to the right.
Crazy.
He should have been in the middle.
His draft
bro.
was crazy. I mean, Sergio Sanders, I mean, that was just.
That's what I was just going to
wild.
bring up, brother. So keeping it in the family members of the
Let's
former
go.
or current NFL players. So the Browns took quarterback Shador Sanders, obviously Deion's son, in the 5th round. You heard that right. The 5th round, 144th overall, after many, including ourselves, thought he was going to be a day 1 pick.
I don't even, like, that was crazy. And
I
they
love your
drafted another
reaction.
quarterback, too.
Yes, they did.
So it's like-
Dylan Gabriel.
So it's like, what are you doing? So now they already have a quarterback controversy.
Dude, so like you just said, 5 quarterbacks were taken ahead of Sanders, including his fellow Browns draftee, Dylan Gabriel out of Oregon.
Just wild.
Stupid.
Wild.
Another one of Prime's sons is actually joining an NFL team. Safety Shiloh Sanders
Shiloh,
out of
yeah.
Colorado is signing with the Bucks after going undrafted. The Jets drafted tight end Mason Taylor out of LSU in the 2nd round. And Frankie, he's familiar with the AFC East growing up. His dad is no other than Hall of Fame pass rusher and Dolphins legend Jason Taylor.
Jason, yep.
I mean, and Jason Taylor actually played 1 season for the Jets, too.
Yeah.
The Jets also signed Notre Dame safety Jordan Clark to an undrafted free agent
Yeah.
deal, and Clark is the son of former NFL safety and current ESPN analyst Ryan
I like
Clark.
Ryan Clark. He's awesome. He's
Yeah.
a good analyst,
Hard
and he was
hitter
a
when he
good,
was young.
good player. Man.
Yes, he was.
I liked it a lot.
Panthers signed wide receiver Mushin Muhammad III to an undrafted free agent deal,
I like
Frankie.
that. The 3rd. He's just going to go 4th, 5th.
Right, right.
He's going to be in the NFL
And
forever.
his dad played for the
I'm
Panthers,
saying,
obviously,
the
against us
Panthers.
in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know.
Panthers also drafted Georgia running back Trevor Etienne in the 4th round. He's the brother of current Jags running back Travis Etienne.
The only other one I saw that did have a relation, hasn't signed yet, but has been asked to come to camp to see on a tryout, was Mike Tomlin's son.
Oh, Dino Tomlin
is a wide receiver.
I did see that.
I was like, come on, Mike, why don't you get your son on Pittsburgh, first of all? Secondly, I'm glad he's getting a chance to try out for the Bucs.
Right. No, that's awesome. That is pretty cool.
That just came out yesterday.
Yes, sir. And Frankie, the last thing I just want to bring up before we get to Foxborough Focus is before these guys go on their college journeys, getting ready for the NFL, everything, they obviously get ranked in the high school ranks and everything before they go to college. So if you look here, bro, there was a quarterback named DJ Uiagalelei, who's a 5-star recruit coming out of high school in 2020, while this past year's #1 pick, Cam Ward, had 0 stars.
Yeah.
So it just shows you going into the college
I think he's
ranks,
going to USL, DJ is.
Well, actually, he signed with the Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers, there you go.
But it just shows there. Cam Ward wasn't notable coming out of high school. This guy was. One's the #1 pick, which was Cam Ward. And this guy,
Cam Ward looks like the real deal, too.
Yes, sir,
he looks
Frankie.
like the real deal. So, yeah, that's all we got for the Wicked Pissah news. Let's jump into the Foxborough Focus.
Got a lot to talk about the Foxborough Focus this week. But before we get into the draft grades and everything, Frankie, you got to bring up this bit of news that just happened. So the Patriots released longtime long snapper Joe Cardona. Been with us since 2015. He was the longest tenured Patriot. And he was the last guy on the team to win a Super Bowl with the Golden Days, man.
Yeah. I mean, hey, what can you do?
Spent a long time with us. What's up with us, too, man? We're always holding on to long snappers for a long time. Him, remember Lonnie Paxton? Yes, sir. But, man, we'll see what he does, man. You know, he's still enlisted in the Navy, I believe. You know, he's got a lot going on in his life and his career, you know, and obviously family. So, best of luck to him going forward. So, Frankie, the draft.
It was an awesome draft.
Yes, sir.
Awesome
and honestly,
draft.
I think the Patriots had one of the best drafts in the league.
Almost every sporting news outlet gave us an A- or better. So,
yes, sir.
Everyone had us at 1 or 2 or no lower than 3 for draft grade. So, I mean, USA Today had us as the only A that they gave out. The Giants as an A-.
Yeah, they did a good
And
one, too.
they gave the Jets an A-. They gave the Jets and the Giants, both New York teams, and then they gave the Pats an A. So we had the highest by USA Today. So I thought that was great. You know
Absolutely, bro. But so here, Frankie, you know, their top 7 picks, you know, a lot of the playmakers and a lot of positions that we needed to address. What I want to do is we're going to name it. I'm going to ask you what you think the grade should be on this draft pick.
If you're going to ask me, I'm just going to say A for every single one. So just so you know.
Yes, sir. All right, Frankie. So we're going to start with the first round. Pick number 4, offensive tackle out of LSU, Will Campbell. And what are you giving that for a grade?
I mean, you got to give it an A. The kid's unbelievable. I've been watching a lot of him. He speaks a great game, too. I mean, like, he's ready to go.
Absolutely.
He's like, I'm willing to die for Drake and all that.
Here's the clip of that.
It's
I was just going to say, check this out real quick.
You are brought to New England to protect Drake May. What kind of tone are you going to set on this offensive line?
I'm going to fight and die to protect them with everything I got.
Congratulations, Will.
It just shows his determination, man. He was getting a little emotional at the beginning of the clip, which they didn't show there. But yeah, like you said, man, he's ready to go on that field and die and protect for Drake May, bro.
6'6", 319. I mean, all the metrics are great. Yeah, his arms are a little bit shorter than they want, but the kid's unbelievable. If you look at everything he's done, his kid's unreal. And he's ready.
Right, and don't get me wrong, you know I wanted Ashton Jeanty, but you're right. This is a position we needed to address fully. Left tackle, man, very important. Drake's blind side. And I saw this stat, man. It just made me feel better about this draft pick, which I was happy with, obviously. In 1,671 snaps the last 2 seasons at LSU, he's only allowed 2 sacks.
He's unreal.
Yeah, bro.
I'm watching some of his workouts and stuff. The kid is unbelievable. And
Great pick.
He's funny.
Squatting 600 pounds.
A reporter asked him, listen, you played in LSU. It's warm. You come in to Boston. It's cold. He's like, if I get cold, I'll buy a coat.
Get a jacket. That's right. So I like it, man.
So funny. I love it.
Got a lot of potential.
Yeah, the kid's nasty.
Second round, pick number 38. We took running back Travion Henderson out of Ohio State, and I'm giving that an A+, Frankie.
That's right there, always. A+ all
Absolutely.
day long.
National champion last year, over 1,000 rush yards, 11 total touchdowns, and he was a part of that dynamic duo with other running back Quinshawn Judkins, who actually got drafted 2 picks before him to the Browns.
I mean, Vrabel and Elliott Wolf both said we needed playmakers, we need speed.
Yes,
so
sir.
we have a need for speed, right?
4.43 40-yard dash.
It can fly,
yes,
right?
Yes, sir.
You know, last year, 22% of his carries went for 10 or more yards.
Yes,
22%. That's almost 1 out of 4
Absolutely.
carries was over 10 yards. That's crazy.
That's
and he averaged, it's crazy. He averaged over 11 yards a catch.
With Josh McDaniels being back too, he likes those kind of running backs. And look what he did with the likes of Deion Lewis, James White, Shane Vereen.
It's going to fit perfectly.
Love
over 11 yards a catch. You know, it's just, the kid's nasty.
He's a blur in the open field. Love this addition right here.
Absolutely.
In third round, pick number 69, we got wide receiver Kyle Williams out of Washington State. I'm giving this a B+, Frankie. Obviously, we really haven't had luck with receivers in the past.
That's true.
It is a position we needed to address. I do like this kid's speed. Actually, in the highlight tape, you can see here. Look at him, bro. He's burning Travis Hunter.
Yeah, he burnt Travis Hunter.
Burning Travis Hunter for a touchdown.
40-yard dash.
That's what I'm saying.
8.4 yards after the catch. He had
Yes,
almost
sir.
2,000 yards last year. 14 touchdowns.
Yes, sir.
I think it's an A. Every pick's an A for me this year. I think they did really good. Again, need for speed. He's got speed.
That's it.
Playmaking ability. He's got it.
That's it,
Him
bro.
and Henderson both got it.
Only
Love
reason I'm giving it a B+, like I said, I just hope we can develop him. We got Mike Vrabel as the head coach now.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yep, that's what it is.
We had another third round pick number 95. We took center/guard Jared Wilson out of Georgia. And Frankie, actually, I'm giving this an A. And the reason
It's an
for
A,
that,
for sure.
Consider the top pure center in the draft. And at 6'3", 310 pounds, he ran a 4.8 40-yard dash, so it shows he's very athletic.
Yep.
Also, he has guard flexibility, which he might need to do considering we have Garrett Bradbury.
We signed Bradbury, but that's a perfect guy to learn from, right? And like you said, pure center. This kid's nasty. We lost Andrews. Like, this is a good pick. And we need more line. We need line help.
And you just said it perfectly, man. Something that, he can learn from with Garrett Bradbury. Patriots GM Elliott Wolf said that he views Wilson as a long-term solution at center for the future.
That's what I'm saying. It's perfect.
There you go.
Great pick.
Fourth round, we got pick 106. We got safety Craig Woodson. No relation to Charles Woodson.
Or Rod.
Right? Out of Cal. And Frankie, I'm going to give this one a C+. Woodson played in a system where they use safeties interchangeably. He played split safety, single high safety, and he's rotated in the box. Yeah. Last year, he had 70 tackles, 2 interceptions. He's good in the open field tackling. And not the best in man coverage, but he's good in that zone. His addition, I'm probably going to have a special teams role in the beginning, but his addition on the defense could have guys like Kyle Duggar and Jabril Peppers play more up on closer to the line.
This pick was a little early too. He was rated a little bit further back than this too. So at the end of the day, if you want to add some more defense, I think our defense is fine. Either way.
But he's also, like I said, he's played all over the field within the zones and everything.
I think they like that flexibility.
Absolutely. Fourth round, pick 137. We got defensive tackle Joshua Farmer out of Florida State. And I'm going to give this one a B+ as well, Frankie.
Like
Pats acquired this pick from the Seahawks. Stands at 6'3", 305 pounds. He had 32 total tackles, 8 for a loss, and 4 sacks last season for the Seminoles. And new defensive coordinator Terrell Williams, he's great at developing D linemen. Obviously, last year he was the Lions D line coach.
It's a good pick. That's a good pick.
And then lastly, I want to bring this one up, Frankie. Fifth round pick 146, edge rusher Braden Swinson out of LSU.
Swinson, yeah.
And I'm actually giving this an A-.
He's good. Swinson's real good.
Best value pick for the Patriots here, in my opinion. He was
absolutely.
projected to go in actually the third or fourth round. A lot of analysts don't know why he fell. Pass rush specialist. He had 8.5 sacks last year and 60 total pressures. Good speed off the edge, 4.6 40-yard dash, man. Like I said, can power off the blocks in the run game.
That was a great pick. And they got him late like that. It's crazy.
Oh, yes,
a couple rounds after he's projected. I love that pick.
Yeah, man, I had to give that one an A. I'm telling you right now, I think that guy is going to provide a lot for our defense, especially the pass rush. And then the other picks I just want to bring up real quick, Frankie. We're not going to bring up a grade on it and everything. Sixth round, we got pick 182, kicker Andres Barregales out of Miami, if I said that right.
Say that 3 times fast.
Seventh round, we got pick 220, offensive tackle Marcus Bryant out of Missouri. Also seventh round, pick 251, we got long snapper Julian Ashby. Like we just talked about, we cut Joe Cardona, so this could have played a factor in that. And then also seventh round, pick 257, actually Mr. Irrelevant, the completely last pick of the draft, defensive back Kobe Minor. Another Kobe.
Swoosh.
Yes, sir, man. So we'll see how they do next season.
Yeah,
brother.
they got to start cutting some people. I think there's 6, or after the cut today, I think there are 5 still over the 90-man roster right now. So, you're going to start seeing some cuts. So.
Yes, sir, Frankie. See what happens, brother.
Love it. Let's jump right into the lava round.
Here we are, Frankie.
Yeah, this week we're going to do a really early predictions for division winners in the NFL. So this is like wicked early on, right after the draft. So
right, the teams are starting to look a little complete.
I'm saying,
and a lot of players still got to get cut, but the rosters are starting to form a little bit. So early division winners, let's do it.
Let's do it. Who do you got for the AFC East? Let's start in our division.
All right, Frankie. I'm gonna have to unfortunately take the Bills.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bills too. There's a stack still.
Josh Allen coming off an MVP season. They retained key guys like Greg Rousseau, Khalil Shakir, and they brought in defensive end Joey Bosa.
I think they're still poised to win it. I think we're going to be second in the division. I think we're going to have a pretty good season, though.
They did lose Mac Hollins on that offense. He led their team in receiving touchdowns, but they replaced him with Josh Palmer, so they're kind of evening out the offense there.
Absolutely. So why don't we go right over to the NFC East?
NFC East, Frankie. So I got a surprise one here for
we
you.
got a surprise.
I'm not going to be taking the Eagles. I'm going to be taking the Commanders.
The Commanders are nasty.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
be real. They did some great stuff this offseason, too. So, With Debo, that Debo trade was, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just
not
think
only that, man, I
I
just think the Eagles lost a lot on defense. Obviously, Josh Sweat and Milton Williams to us.
Yep.
And like you said, man, they got significantly better. They got Debo Samuel, and they got Laramie Tunsil from the Texans to shore up that offensive line. And they drafted an offensive lineman, Josh Cornelly,
they beat
in the
the
first
Eagles
round.
once last year, too. So I'm still taking the Eagles, the Super Bowl champs.
Not a
but
bad pick.
I mean, the Commanders are unreal.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
They have like all the hype. Everyone wants to go to that team and play with them. And Jaden Daniels is unbelievable. So that's our keeper. So in 2 different leagues.
That's right.
Why don't we jump over to the AFC West? Who you got there?
AFC West, Frankie, and I'm not going to be taking the Chiefs here
I'm
either,
taking
brother.
the Chiefs. Come on, you got to take the Chiefs.
Nah, bro.
You taking Denver?
I'm taking the Broncos.
I knew you were going to take Denver.
So,
I like Denver.
Dude, let me bring this up. I'm going to tell you right now, they look way better. They added to their defense with safety Talanoa Hufanga and linebacker Dre Greenlaw, both formerly of the 49ers. They already had Pat Surtain II and Zach Allen, who had 8.5 sacks last year. And they needed a tight end. They signed Evan Ingram.
I know.
They're forming out the offense better.
Listen, they're going to be good.
They just need a running back.
I'm going with Chiefs still just because they've been there so long. You got Pat Mahomes. But honestly, the Greenlaw, I love Greenlaw. Denver's defense was already nasty last year. And, Evan Ingram on that team. And remember when Jimmy Graham and Sean Payton were a thing? I mean, Evan Ingram could go bananas this year.
Sean Payton needs a tight end, especially Bo Nix needed one. They didn't have one. I know they still need a running back. I think they'll add one. But also this, Frankie, think about this. The Chiefs and the Broncos, they were 1-1 in their series. They beat the Broncos, luckily, by a field goal block in one game.
That was right at the end.
And then I know there was backups, but the Broncos killed them 38-0 at the end of the season.
I like it. Yeah, and I like that pick. Why don't we go right over to the NFC West? I'm going Rams.
I'm going Rams too. Absolutely.
They had a great draft last year. They
did.
Obviously, Puka's unreal, so it's like
young defensive talent, man, like we were talking about, Braden Fisk and Jared Verse. Seahawks were also a close decision for me, what they've done this offseason, man. Obviously they added Cooper Kupp, but the Rams, man, they got Devontae Adams to pair with Puka Nacua. They drafted a tight end out of Oregon, which they needed one to pair with Tyler Higbee, who's been always a little banged up. I'm telling you, still got Kyron Williams, Matthew Stafford still there. Yeah, the Rams are taking that division.
That's it for me there too. AFC North, I mean, I'm going Ravens, obviously. I'm going
Ravens.
That's
too
just
easy for me, bro.
Way easy.
I mean, if you look at the other teams, the Browns got 20 quarterbacks. Steelers QB1 as of right now is Mason Rudolph.
Terrible.
I mean, the Bengals, you got Joe Burrow, you got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins on extensions and all that, but their defense, man, you got 5 guys on that defense looking to get traded. Trey Hendrickson, Jermaine Pratt.
Yeah, they're tough. They're not going to beat the Ravens. No way. Let's go to NFC North. This is a tough division, honestly. This is a really tough
toughest
one.
division in football
I agree, right? I mean, Chicago looks great now. Green Bay is always phenomenal. Minnesota, and then you got the Lions. I'm still taking the Lions. Hopefully they come back. Aiden Hutchinson comes back healthy.
Yes,
but
sir.
At the end of the day, that division's crazy.
Yeah, no, the Lions are definitely a good pick, but Frankie, I'm going to go with the Packers here.
I like it.
I mean, like you said, it's a very competitive division.
It's so competitive.
They added to their O-line, adding guard Aaron Banks, formerly of the 49ers, that needed help, and they added to their secondary, getting Nate Hobbs from the Raiders, and Jair Alexander and Xavier McKinney are still there, and they still got a good pass rusher with Van Ness, Clark, and Rashawn Gary.
They drafted a receiver in the first round for the first time forever.
Since 04 or something like that.
So, yeah, they're going to be good, too. So that's a tough division.
Very tough. The Bears are going to look good this year, too.
I'm saying the Bears are going to be good. Minnesota probably should be good too. You know what I mean? So it's like that division's crazy good.
Yes, sir.
AFC South, who you got there?
So Frankie, this is a surprise one, and I don't care what anybody says. I'm taking the Jaguars.
I knew you were gonna do that. You get one draft pick and he goes off the reservation over here.
Ready? So Trevor Lawrence, he's expected to be ready week 1 after undergoing that season-ending shoulder surgery, which is scary. Obviously, you want to see how he plays. He, in my opinion, has a good offense to work with. Like we were talking about with Travis Etienne, they got Tank Bigsby still. Wide receivers Brian Thomas Jr. and now rookie wide receiver / cornerback Travis Hunter. Man, I'm telling you, Trevor Lawrence is going to be putting up some good numbers next year. Defense is looking good too with Josh Hines, Allen, and the guys they got over there along with Trayvon Walker. And I'm telling you, bro, I just think that they're going to outmatch the Texans. Both games they played against the Texans, they lost by less than a touchdown.
Yeah, I have the Texans still here. The Texans did lose some stuff though, so I mean, let's be real.
Diggs, they don't have Tank Dell.
Diggs is in Tank Dell's. They definitely lost some stuff. They lost Tunsil, so it's like, I don't know. That definitely, I could see that. That division's up for grabs, probably more than any other division.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? Indy could do something too. I mean, Indy, Titans. If Anthony Richardson comes out and actually plays half decent,
right?
If you look at their whole team with Jonathan Taylor and their wideouts, like they have a good team.
Doesn't go to the sideline and take a break.
I'm saying that's just wild. And then lastly, let's jump into NFC South. I mean, I'm taking the Bucs again.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bucs.
Yeah, that seems like an easy one. So,
dude, especially with what they did in the draft, they already got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin still along with Jalen McMillan, who had like 7 touchdowns the last 4 games. They drafted that dude out of Ohio State.
I know.
I can't even say his name. What is it? Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude's a beast, bro. And I'm telling you,
I'm surprised they even did that. Actually, a lot of analysts were surprised. I was surprised because it's like, you don't need that at all.
No, you don't.
You know, so I was surprised. But hey, I mean, Mayfield's going to have a great season.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Know what I mean?
Like, throughout last season, too, he was looking at, like, number 2 in fantasy at, like, the beginning part of fantasy,
He was killing it in
That's
fantasy
what I'm saying.
for a while. He's a late round sleeper right there.
Yes, sir, Frankie. But yeah, man, you know, some surprises there. So we'll see what happens next season, brother.
Absolutely, buddy. So yeah, another great episode. I love talking about the draft. I'm looking forward to the Patriots getting back to that success that they've had.
Dude, I can't wait, man.
Look, I've been where you are.
You've been where we are.
The past doesn't go away. So you can either live with it forever.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking forward to getting back to like the glory days of the past.
Oh, absolutely.
I really am being successful again.
That's what I'm
Or
saying.
you can do something about it.
How can we do something about it? We're not involved in the front office. Like,
What's he talking about?
I don't even know, bro. Frankie, what's that thing in the sky up there, bro?
Oh my goodness.
Dude, what's going on this week, Frankie?
I know what
Break
it is.
down for
I know
me,
what
dude.
it is. It's Thunderbolts. It's going to be a phenomenal movie. Marvel Thunderbolts comes out this weekend. You got to check it out. It's going to be a great one.
Oh, absolutely, man. But all right, Frankie, let's get up on out of here.
From Beantown to your town, stay wicked Pissah.
From the TD Garden to your garden, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
Be sure to check out Boston's Banter.